Here on GoPSUSports.com and Beaver Stadium on Bowl Media Day, Coach, congratulations officially, being a PA guy yourself, obviously on the staff already, but how exciting is it to be able to have this opportunity to welcome your family back here and be able to get settled in Pennsylvania again?
Well, thanks for the congratulations. We're super excited, and it's really a neat deal. Growing up in Pennsylvania, when I was in high school, I used to come to camp here, and I was always a Penn State fan. And now to get the opportunity to coach here at Penn State and be from Pennsylvania and be close to my family, my in-laws, being able to have grandparents near our kids now that we'll be living here is really super exciting. We're fired up about it.
You've made significant stops, with some coaches who are now coaching in the Big Ten as well as stops in the NFL. How do you kind of use all those experiences and take them and kind of implement them into kind of, what your roles and responsibilities are now here at Penn State?
Well, I think the things that I've learned in the different stops and different people I've worked at has kind of made me who I am today. And that's not only the good, but it's the bad. You kind of, as you go through and you see what you like, what you dislike, and you make notes to yourself, and you kind of figure out when you get the opportunity to be in charge of things, how do you want to do it? What did you really like? What didn't you like? How could you make something better? And I think that's kind of where we're at right now. I have an idea of, what I want to do. What we've done here has been great, and I'm just trying to make us better. And how can we make subtle changes to improve us?
From all of those things that you learned, how do you kind of describe your philosophy a little bit?
Well, I think my philosophy is going to be in line with Coach Franklin's philosophy. I think that's the first thing, is when the assistants are in line with the head coach, that's the most important thing. And I really like his philosophy since I've been here since March and seen. I like the amount of time and the resources that he puts towards special teams, playing starters on special teams and how important it is to him. And we've seen the results from that this year, and have done some really, really good things and made improvements. And really looking forward to continuing that.
Since you've arrived here, like you said, in March, for those of us who might not know or fans who might be curious, how do your roles change from what you were doing before to what you're doing now, aside from, some of the obvious things?
Sure. My role before, I was kind of behind the scenes in the analyst role. Really what I did was I was able to provide information for the coaching staff, and I would always try to stay a week ahead, so I'd be game planning the following week's opponent, getting us ready. So when that game ended Saturday, we come in Sunday, you watch the game film, you put it to bed, bang, here you go. Here's kind of who our opponent is, and here's what they've done, and here's how I kind of see some things that could be issues, things we could take advantage of, and just provide a head start for those guys going forward.
Special teams in general, an area of success this year. What do you think kind of the keys have been? I know you mentioned playing starters on special teams, but what have been some of the areas that you've seen are locking in, and those are the reasons why Penn State's finding the success on special teams?
The number one reason is the players. I think we have great players, and number two is I think that they value how important special teams, and I was able to watch them work all season, how they practiced. Taking guys that were starters, or maybe they're not even on a special team, but they're working the scout team and giving other guys looks. They believe in how important special teams are, and they've really worked their butts off at improving at it, and the results are showing.
How about maybe some more under-the-radar guys? We see Blake Gillikin, pinning teams, inside the 10, but, maybe some guys that might go unnoticed or aren't talked about enough that are really making a tremendous impact on special teams this year, from your perspective.
Yeah, I think there's a good amount of guys that have really made a big impact, and I don't want to leave anyone out, but you take a look at our last game against Maryland, you look at Josh McPherson running down the kickoff team and making several tackles, and you take a look at guys like, whether it be Brandon Smith, who had played a bunch on special teams till he got into the starting role on defense, or some other guys that have just really gone out there and made plays if they're only on one special team. You take our punt team, you're looking at our two starting defensive tackles in Cothran, and they're out there and they're maximizing their opportunities, being a dominant player on the special team, punt team for us.
You mentioned areas of improvement a little bit too. Where do you see kind of the future of the growth of this special teams unit?
Well, I think the future is only going to get better. I think having the taste of success that we've had this year, not only as a team, but in special teams, in our return game and having touchdowns in both kickoff and in punt return, and I think, our punt coverage and really minimizing what punt returners have been able to do against us, and continuing to improve in our kickoff coverage and making tackles inside the 25-yard line. And so I think we'll just keep getting better because I think there's great competition at all the spots, and the young guys realize that, special teams are really important. Here's my chance to go get on the field and make plays, and competition will make us better.
switching gears a little bit, since the announcement was made, what has life been like for you? How do you, get the announcement and kind of get right out on the road recruiting? What have you been up to in the last couple of weeks?
I did. The announcement came on Friday afternoon, and I was on a plane Saturday morning going to recruit, and have been, a bunch of places trying to go see whether it be our commits or whether it go be future prospects that we're recruiting. Kind of been all over the country. Just giving you an idea, from Tuesday until last night when I got in, I was on 7 flights in 3 days. So it's been extremely busy, but something I'm very excited about. And it's really neat. You get to go recruiting and you get to go meet new people and new coaches and their families and that sort of deal. So it's very, very entertaining.
What's the level of excitement like right now around the Lash building with this new earlier signing day approaching?
I think the excitement's very high. I think, we're extremely excited about the class that we're going to sign here on the 20th, and just being able to add great people and players and families into our Penn State family. The excitement's super high.
Great. Well, thank you for spending time with us.
I appreciate it.